property patriot. You are cleared hot.
Welcome to the Aim High Podcast. I'm Bud Evans, your host, and today we're chatting with Chris Alves. He's a dynamic realtor who's reshaping the industry with his unique approach. He comes from a family deeply rooted in real estate and construction. He blends his hospitality background with real estate expertise. And here are my key takeaways for this episode. First, transitioning from hospitality to real estate, he was able to leverage his diverse experience. Second, his strategies for effective client screening in the investment realm. And third, navigating the challenges of working with multiple stakeholders in property deals. Join us to explore Chris's journey today in real estate, where we provide investors with the tools to achieve generational wealth. This is the Aim High Podcast, episode number 63. Good day, high flyers, and welcome to the Aim High Podcast. I am your host, Bud Evans, and today I am joined by Chris Alves. Can you do me a favor, please? Give me a brief description of who you are.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Chris Alves. I'm second generation technically in the real estate industry. My parents are realtors as well as in the construction industry. I am going on my fourth full year as a realtor now. Like any stubborn 18-year-old, I didn't want to listen to my parents back in the day and refused to get my real estate license and went on a different path in the hospitality industry and didn't regret it. I learned a lot, which I carry into this industry today. Over time, got burnt out. You hear the stories, being in the restaurant, a little pay, working crazy hours, holidays, things of that nature. So yeah, I am now partners on the team with my mother. She is the team leader. Technically, I am the face of it all. No, I take care of the marketing, and I've been increasing the sales past year for both of us, while she takes care of a lot of administrative stuff. And as I have mentioned to you earlier, my grandmother is 91, so she takes care of her burnout. She's her caretaker. I've been trying to step more in the leadership role, which is always fun because eventually I'm going to be taking over, hopefully within the next year or two. We'll see how long she gives it to me. But yeah, and in my fourth year of real estate, as you said, I do work with a lot of investors. I also work with a lot of first-time home buyers, just given my age, and as well as a lot of downsizers too. So a little bit of everything, but I really do enjoy the investment side of it all. I grew up, like I said, like in construction with my dad from a very young age. I remember being in middle school and flipping a duplex over in Palmyra on Broad Street, and I caught on fire. And that was like my summer project when other people, I had to write the articles about the book that you were supposed to read in the math packets, but at the same time, simultaneously, I was also flipping a house with my dad and just seeing my friends ride by on bikes. And I was like, oh, I wish that was me. But I learned a lot of valuable lessons, which are very useful in today's market.
Great. Now, I got to ask you, because I know this happens. How many new investors call you and they're like, hi, are you investor friendly? I'm looking for an investor friendly real estate agent.
Yeah. That happens a lot. And when I first started, I was like really gung ho and yeah, let's go see investment properties and we'll walk through the process. Now I have a screening process just so I don't waste my own time, to be honest. Once I go through all right, how many properties have you flipped? How experienced are you? What's your capital? Are you doing a hard money loan? Is it all coming out of your pocket? Get through that, the experience aspect of it all. And then I'm like, how many people are involved in this? And they say one other person, I got one partner. Cool. Let's all three of us go see the house or meet up together and talk about this. But once they start saying, oh, I got 4 or 5 people to talk to, at that point, personally, you're not that serious to me. Just because I know the communication is just going to be horrendous. To get paperwork from you, it's just going to be a nightmare. To even show you properties, it's just going to be a nightmare, truthfully. So I do get those, but now over the years, I've learned how to screen those potential clients. And sometimes I'll send them stuff and try to meet up with them, and they want to lowball offers a dramatic amount. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to get the house for this much. They have other offers on the table. Oh, but mine's cash. congratulations. Unfortunately, we live in a society where a lot of people cash nowadays. Cash is king, I will say that, but like how much you want to give up to get the house ultimately. So
One thing that I know is that there are a lot of people that come to the table and they say, oh, it's cash, but it's actually hard money. When we're looking at that versus a standard mortgage, with most people coming in pre-qualified with a standard conventional mortgage, is there really that much of a difference when somebody comes in with hard money anymore or cash?
there is a difference, right? When they're in like a conventional loan or whatever, you still have to go through the appraisal process. Even the same thing with the hard money loan, right? You still need to get the house appraised, but there's a different appraisal process, right? The hard money loan, they need to see like the house is actually going to be of value after all the repair and everything, where conventional, they just need to make sure. But the difference for it is if I'm talking to someone with just a conventional loan, I prepare them like, listen, you need to put at least 20% down. Like this is like a rehab, essentially. I was like, not only do you need that, you're also competing against other wealthy investors or more established investors that may have had this array of system down where they know the appraiser, they know the lender really well. And if this is like your first time, you're going to get beat up a little bit. So there definitely is a difference. And then obviously cash is cash. There's no appraisal. That's the amount that you pay plus the closing costs, things of that nature. So if I know there's the three options on the table, especially as an agent who deals with REOs, my mom deals with a lot of REOs, we'll always take the cash just because we know there's that little bit of safety just from the appraisal aspect of it all. And also, we're not sitting there at the closing table waiting for the funds to be wired through. It's just about educating people and what they can and cannot do.
Are you noticing an increased delay due to title, or has that started to subside?
I'm sorry?
Have you noticed an increased delay due to clearing title, or has that started to slow down?
No, I haven't seen any delay with that. Ultimately, it comes down to the client and themselves. From traditional residential sales to commercial to even investors just getting their paperwork in. And that where it comes down to the agent to do their due diligence and kind of educate your client. Hey, once you go on the contract, there is a certain timeline to hit everything and to get in the paperwork. If you want to close by a certain time, but you can't say that I'm busy excuse. Unfortunately, we're all busy, right? Mm-hmm. You just have to cut time. And if the title company is like, I need you to fill this format, I need you to hand in documents, do that in a timely manner. So that way there is no delay. Every once in a while, there might be a delay if something comes on title. But again, if something comes up, it's how quickly can you respond and prove that that lien isn't against you or whatever the case may be. I personally think it comes down to the individual and the individual client themselves.
Okay. Yeah. I got friends right now that are closing properties so quickly that it's just a matter of getting it through title. And if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's the only real delay that they have.
And the title company definitely matters who you're working with, because some don't like to work with investors because there's a lot of gray area. Let's be real, right? Mm-hmm. So working with a title company that you can trust and that knows like to work within a gray area definitely does matter as well.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Let's go through some of the deals that you've done, because REO, like my first flip was REO, and we had a chimney fall through the roof and came through the second floor and then went into the kitchen and smashed a closet, which broke the water heater, which spilled water all over. So what are the nightmare stories that you deal with when you're talking about REO?
So from a listing agent perspective, it's a lot of, I just dealt with this literally last week, actually. It's more of a nuisance than anything else. Agents are lazy. I bet, right? There are a lot of lazy agents out there, and they just send a lockbox combination to their investor. Hey, the house is vacant. Here's the lockbox combination. And then the investor thinking that they're going to win the bid or win the house. And then the agent 30 minutes later is calling me like, hey, there's no key in the lockbox. So now I have to go out there, do a rekey, send out a nasty email to all the agents who showed up beforehand, like be a jerk essentially. That's always the nuisance. People just breaking in. It's always a nuisance. People, it's not so much a nuisance, just more, oh, can we get an extension for closing? We need a little bit more time for money or whatever the case may be. I'm like, no, you either have the money or you don't. If you don't, we're gonna go on to the next person. But definitely the breaking in is just a like really big nuisance. Just because I have to now take to the rekey and I do all that stuff that's just annoying, or just like answering useless phone calls. Oh, how many offers do you have? We have a lot. Oh, are they all asking? They're above asking. Oh, mine is cash. Congratulations. So are the 10 other ones.
Right.
Oh, are they going to do a highest to best? Unfortunately, no. Can they do lower? It's a bank. When have you ever heard of a bank taking less money? Things of that nature. And then that's when you can tell, like, when like that investor is new. Because then you have other people that are just like, yo, here's the money. Here's the proof of funds. Let me know what the bank says. Yes, no, maybe. So like it's refreshing when you work with someone that knows the system for sure.
Yeah. Being able to walk in with a blank check from your proof of funds up to $500,000 when you're buying a $200,000 house is definitely a positive. Here's one that drives me nuts. Hey, here's my offer and I'll beat the next highest bid by $1,000. Right.
Yeah.
The escalation clause. Right. I despise the escalation clause. How many of those are you dealing with right now?
Frankly, not that many. We just tell people like no escalation clause, just give us your best number first time around. We're not really big on highest and best, at least not for the REO side of the business.
Yeah.
Just because I honestly don't feel like going through the time to look at which offer has the escalation clause, which ones don't. Just give me your highest and best offer. If you really want to flip this house, then put your best foot forward.
If there's an escalation clause in a contract, it's usually, okay, so why didn't you give me your best number first? You can go for, and I'll bring that to the bank. It's not a guessing game here. This is your MAO, right? Your maximum allowable offer. What is your maximum allowable offer? Let's go.
Exactly. Because what like the other agent doesn't realize, especially if they don't know the system, I have to go in and manually input all the offers. So if you're saying another offer comes in at 151 and you're at 150, now I have to physically go. No, that's a lot of time on me. And if I had like, great example, back when I first started, like in the beginning of the pandemic, right? That was like when I first initially started. We had this house over in Marlton, Mount Laurel area, East Sham Township, whatever. Mm-hmm. We had it listed for $200,000. Talk about everything that needed to get done. I'm talking a new roof, needed new plumbing. The facade in the front of the house was like falling off, like all the bricks. So like there was like structural damage. There was mold. There was an in-ground pool. Who knows what the condition was? Needed new windows. It needed just about everything under the sun. And in my head, I'm thinking like back in 2018, 2019, when you used to buy a house for $70,000, put 80 into it, and then you sell it for a great amount. I'm like, no way are someone going to buy this for $200,000. I'm sorry. I only think we had it listed for $200,000. I think we had it listed for like 170 or something like that. And I'm like, thinking this house needs a minimum 120, like on a good day, 120. And I've never seen so many people. I try to go there and police people walking in because it was a free for all. There was 200 people easily just continuously walking in and out of this house. I try to get everyone in a line, take turns. This one agent try to get in my face. I have an appointment. I was like, congratulations, you and everyone else right now. My appointment was for 2:30. I was like, and I look at the woman in front of her. I was like, yes, what time is your appointment? She's like, 2:20. I was like, and you're standing in line? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, buddy, take the back seat. You try to get in my face. But we ended up selling that for $2.25 around there, maybe a little bit more. And then they ended up reselling it for $5 something, which was like mind shocking. But that was definitely like, I've never seen anything like that. But, right. So we had over 200 offers to manually upload. So if you had an escalation clause in there, I'm not like, I'm going to try and do my best to like remember that. But like when you're dealing with that many offers, it's hard to keep track like, hey, but you had that escalation clause and then Bill had that escalation clause. Like you guys are pretty much the same thing. This person, like they just put the best foot forward and I'm just going to buy it at this price.
Right.
So that's what a lot of people don't understand.
And people wonder why REO agents get burned out. Right. It's exactly that. What's the average lifespan on an REO agent is like, what, 5 years? It's high stress, man.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom's been doing it. She's not here today, but she's been doing it for a while now. I joined, her business was 95% REO. So in 2019, she did 70 units by herself, and 95% of that, even maybe 98% of that was all REO. She loves it though. She loves it. I can despise it. There's a lot of paperwork involved.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. That's why she takes care of all the administrative stuff for me. But she loves it because in her thing, there's no emotions. You either have the funds or you don't. And if you don't, we're just going to move on to the next person. And she doesn't like to listen to the top stories. Oh, we need another week or two. Or she's like, no.
Here's a letter from my mother. We just had a baby. We're just, okay.
Exactly. So that's one reason why my mom loves it. And at a certain point, it is just consistency. So it's always like that little like check, like the checks aren't great. They're very small, but it's like those small amounts just add up. Because not every month someone's selling $1 million in production. But if you just have those little checks come in every month, they help pay the bills eventually.
Yeah. Awesome. And what are you moving on? Are you increasing in volume? Are you seeing a decrease in volume?
So the last 3 years, we haven't really seen much of that. We've had maybe at most 5 REO properties a year, right? So like 2019, my mom was doing 70 and now we're down to 5.
Wow.
I'm hoping to see a turnaround on this upcoming year. You know, a lot of people, because of the pandemic, were not being evicted, which is never a fun process too. Let me just say that. Then, because we're the ones that go and put the notice on the door. Sometimes the owner's there, sometimes they're not. When they're not, that's great. When they are and they awkwardly open up the door, I'm like, I'm giving you this, but give me a second. I actually need to take a photo of it on your door to prove to the bank that I gave it to you. Those are always awkward. And then if they don't leave in the time, we have to call the sheriff and then they have to do the eviction and it can get messy. But we haven't seen come back to full fruition yet. Hopefully, just because it will stop a lot of the overbidding for unnecessary houses. Like, you can't buy a house now to flip for less than 200,000.
Yeah.
And then that same house, I'll probably show 3 investors. And then I have to like not only submit my offer, but then like I have to have my mom submit an offer and then like another agent, just so that way I'm not representing all 3, because then the agents will be like, yo, you got 3 clients that want this house. They're relatively all the same thing. Like, who are you going to go with? So it for me, it will be a lot easier when it comes to submitting these offers.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at it.
Yeah. I've been hearing the gurus every year for the last 3 years talking about the crash is coming. The crash is coming. I don't know, man. I don't see it. I just don't. There's still a scarcity.
I think if the crash was coming, it would have already came, personally. But like you just said, there's a scarcity. Not only there's scarcity, there's an influx of people out there waiting, and they get tired of waiting, and then they just end up buying one of these packages for 200,000 and just going through that motion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't foresee a crash coming. It's just not. I know interest rates are high and house prices are high, but people are still buying them. So that means there's still a way to purchase a house. You just got to be strategic with it.
Okay. All right, Chris, normally I would say, hey, what's the one thing you're learning as your wealth increase? But I'm going to ask you a different question.
Okay.
Now that you are more experienced, what is the one thing that you've noticed and learned through this whole process over the last 4 years?
Patience, for sure. Especially with my generation. We're very quick with getting results, right? Social media, the internet, the whole, grew up with that. So we grew with this instantaneous result. So definitely patience. Definitely, it doesn't grow overnight. It's something that you have to work on. I tell a lot of people that just get into the industry, like chances are you're probably going to put on Facebook that you're an investor now or that you're a realtor now. And you're going to think, you're going to get all the congratulation comments underneath your photo, right? You're going to get the 100 likes and 100 comments. Congratulations, you're going to do great. That's not going to achieve anything. Every day you have to work at your job. This is a job, whether you're an investor, whether you're a realtor, a wholesaler, a lender, no matter what line of work you are in real estate, you have to work at it every day. Your phone doesn't just ring right away. Eventually it will, right? Hey, like I saw you on social media for the last so many years, or my friend referred me to you, whatever. Those are the great phone calls because that means like you were doing something consistently every day, which can end that phone call. But yeah, definitely patience. Just work at it every day, a little by little. There's going to be days where you feel like you didn't achieve anything, and that's okay. Just reflect on that day. Be like, all right, what did I do though that may transpire in the future, like to a future business transaction? So patience for sure though.
Definitely. All right. Let's go into the scoring for these are the same 4 questions that I ask every guest that can help someone who is just starting out achieve new heights. So question number 1 is, what do you use to keep you motivated?
Just my self-doubt. I like to prove myself every day. I like to have a financial freedom. I like to enjoy things in life. So that's my self-motivation. I like to be able to like take my wife on nice trips. I guess it's a selfish motivation, but it's motivation nonetheless.
Hey man, whatever it takes to keep you going, right?
Exactly. Whatever it takes to keep you going.
Exactly. What is one thing that you learned that completely changed your mindset?
Never really honestly judge a book its cover. Like I've seen people with the nicest cars, nicest watches and things of that nature and not have a dollar to them. And then the complete opposite, like people just rolling up in a rust bucket and then they just pull out a briefcase and I have 300,000 just right here. And I was like, that's great. I can't use that right now though. Can you put it in the bank for me? Honestly, I never truly judge a book by its cover. You never know who that person is.
Yeah. If you haven't read The Millionaire Next Door, probably that would recommend that book. It's statistically, people who are worth millions they're not wearing you got some that are wearing like the incredible clothes and whatnot, but they drive a 5-year-old used car. It's paid off. They wear inexpensive jeans and button down shirts and sneakers or something. They live in modest homes, not mansions. So it's amazing. That's a great point.
No, yeah, I agree 1,000%. And a great example is an agent here in my office, Sam Laporte. Like he's a mega agent, right? Just last year, him and his team did $80 million in production. One of the most humbling men I've ever met. And you look at him and like, he's just wearing a jeans, like a nice button down shirt, nothing like out of the ordinary. And like when you talk to him, like he doesn't come off whatever. He's just but like super successful.
Yeah,
but
I know Sam, very down to earth. You would never figure that he would be able to, just by talking to him, you would never know that he can just pick up a first class ticket, fly his entire family out to Green Bay to go watch a Packers game on a Sunday for no reason other than he likes the Packers.
Yeah, exactly. So I envy those type of guys. Don't get me wrong. Who doesn't like the nice watches and nice cars? I'm like, I'm a car guy myself. But it's the ones that are like, that fly under the radar. I always like that. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Beware of the guru driving a Lamborghini, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What tools do you use to keep yourself on track?
So with KW, We have our command system where we can, with smart plans, put people in floor plans, things of that nature. I'm also a little bit old school. I like to write everything down. I keep an Excel sheet of like where our sales are at, things of that nature. I always have a goal in mind of what I want to do throughout the year. So I put it in the calendar. I revisit that every day. I look at our sales for what's coming up, what's pending. If I see that we're down, I'm like, all right, like where can I like increase, get that extra sale this month or extra two, whatever it case may be. But yeah, I like to write everything down, not once, but twice, and just revisit it every day.
Awesome. And then the last question, if you had to start over, what's one thing you'd change?
If I had to start over, one thing I would change, great. Just be more consistent with everything. There's a lot of inconsistency. So, right, we have, I'm sure you heard about a talk about time blocking.
Mhm.
Not that I constantly do it, but I realized I have a system myself. Like I'm in the office every day between 9:30 and 12, maybe like 1 o'clock. And then after that, I go show houses, right? So it's just like that consistency. When I'm in the office, I'm in the office. I'm working. I'm answering emails, things of that nature. And then in the afternoon, I'm either going to show houses to clients or go do a house tour to record and put on social media. It's just being consistent with your work and making sure that you're working at it every day. And like I said, sometimes I'll come in the office and there's really not much to do, but I'm in here because you never know what's going to happen. I'm looking at the MLS every day. I'm seeing what's sold. Like I'm big in Burlington County. That's where I like to focus at. Predominantly like Cinnamon, Palmyra, Riverton, like my local area.
Mm-hmm.
So I see what houses are selling, what houses are sitting, what are coming soon. And if I'll just send a random text to a client with a listing. Hey, I know we haven't spoken in a month, but however, here's this house that I just came across. It fits everything that you're looking for. Like just send just like little things like that every day. And then obviously you have your emails that you have to filter and authors and all that stuff.
Chris Alves, thank you very much for the agent's perspective on dealing with investors. I really do appreciate it. I know you're busy.
Yep.
I will let you get back to work.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Chris is a realtor with Keller Williams in Moorestown. To reach out to Chris, you can reach him at thealvesteam.com or at his personal cell. He is all over the place on social media. Chris's cell phone number is 856-313-3767. Until next time, aim high. Thanks for being a part of the Aim High community. Your support drives us to create valuable content, and we can't wait to see your success stories in real estate investing. Till next time, aim high, never stop learning. Bud Evans, signing off. We'll see you soon.